The mind is the most powerful tool in your arsenal. I created this podcast as a daily supplement for you to invest into your thinking. This is your
Daily Mind Medicine.
Yo, what's up, party people? Welcome to another Mind Medicine. Got a story for you today. I am starting to do a lot of travel. I think I may have talked about that before, but it's a lot. I'm not a travel person. I love routines. I love home. I live in the great city of Nashville, and all of our team is in Nashville. It's just amazing. I love home. I love my family. I love my beautiful baby girl. I love my wife. I love routine. Anyways, sorry, I'm making this a therapy session. Anyways, I'm doing a lot of traveling, and one of the things I hate to do is fly Southwest or American or any other airline besides Delta. Delta's my airline. They treat me right. They have nice planes. They always let me into the lounge because I have an Amex Plaque card. All right. So if I'm going to travel, I like traveling on Delta. And I've had a rough go the last 2 weeks because despite how much I hate not flying Delta, I hate layovers worse. You ever get in that mode in life where you're like, I'm not even picking what I want here. I'm just like picking between the lesser of two evils. It's a whole nother episode right there. How many of you know sometimes it's just like, get me out of this situation with the least collateral damage as possible. Anyways, so the other day I'm headed to the airport and we're flying American. I'm going to Charlotte and flying American Airlines, which is not that bad. It's not as bad as Southwest. But I get to the lounge and my city card, which gets me into the lounge, is not present. It is not present. It's not in my wallet. It's not in my backpack. I don't know where this card is, but I need it to get into the lounge, and my plane boards in about 30 minutes. So it's not like I'm going to have to sit in the bathroom for an hour and a half. I'm going to have to go sit in a noisy place. There's intercoms everywhere. The Nashville airport is under construction, much like the Charlotte airport. And so she's like, you can't get into the lounge. And I said, well, can I pay for it? And she's like, well, it's $59. And I was like, I'll do it. She's like, you want to pay $59? You want to pay $59 for this lounge? I'm like, yes. Swipe the card, give me the Wi-Fi password, and let me go sit down. So I paid the $59. Luckily, I have it in the bank. Everything's good. Life is great. I sit down. I start thinking. I'm thinking, man, I'm grateful that I finally got to get in the lounge because the week prior I had to fly Southwest. They wouldn't let me in any lounge. If you fly Southwest, they don't want to touch you with a 10-foot pole. They're like, get out of the lounges. You can't come in here like you have a disease. I started sitting down and thinking, man, it's crazy. In 30 minutes, $59, divide that by 30 minutes, like $2 and something per minute. In 30 minutes, I can become in the zone. I can write a promotion. I can create a new offer. I can talk to our real estate team. I can do this, that, or the other. I can get into flow, and I can be worth probably $7,000 to $10,000 an hour. You look at all the stuff we got going on, and we've got the consulting business that's growing, the real estate business that's growing, the info product business is growing, everything is growing, and that doesn't mean it comes without its problems. It just means that if I can get into flow, I can produce $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. Isn't it interesting that in school they don't teach you about assets? They don't teach you about financial statements. They don't teach you about investing into yourself. This lady was so shocked and so surprised that I was willing to pay $59 for 30 minutes of peace without somebody yelling at me over the intercom. And what I sat down and I immediately became productive. And it's just comparing math. It's not that difficult. But I told somebody about this story. I said, everything in my world is math. You know, you buy a house for $130,000. You put $30,000 into it and it's worth $200,000. It's like math. It's math. You have a mortgage that's $900 that's in it pays $1,300. It's math. You get to a certain point where you're able to look at the world through a place of, how do I appropriately capitalize on the situation so that I can create forward progress? How do I appropriately capitalize on the current situation so I can create forward progress? It's interesting that in school they teach you about history, sort of. They teach you about statistics, sort of. But mostly people come out and they memorize the capitals of cities and states and countries, and they don't retain anything and they graduate. Statistics say that like fewer than 10% of people read a book after high school ever again. It's ridiculous. And yet we're living in a world that seems to be committed to average, committed to the status quo because they can't even do math. Got a lady working at American Airlines. Not only, let's just set aside the fact that she was a horrible sales representative. She didn't say, yeah, that'll be $59. What else can I do for you? She's like, you want to pay $59? Like I'm crazy. So just the judgmental tude, hashtag American Airlines. But beyond that, she doesn't know how to do math. And I'm not saying that it's always a wise investment. I'm not saying that you could superfluously invest into things that are, quote, investments, but they're not. People do this all the time. They think private jets are like an investment. Dude, let me tell you, unless you are worth $25,000 plus per hour, a private jet is not a good investment. And I can get into that and, whatever. But there's a reason that I'm pulling in 10, 12, 15K an hour and I'm still not flying private. Okay. But beside the point, learn to view yourself as the greatest asset you have access to. It's not real estate, although real estate can be a great asset. Look, we just bought a couple houses in cash in Charlotte. We got all this stuff going on in the real estate business and will actually produce more revenue next month in its 10th month than the first 12 months of TF. Anyways, learn to look at yourself as an asset. Go the extra mile on yourself. People talk about going the extra mile for all these sorts of things and it doesn't make a difference in your life. It doesn't make a difference. But going the extra mile on yourself does. Picking up the book that is $10, that is the representation of an author's life work. Freaking worth it. Spend the time to learn it. Get off YouTube. I'm not saying that you can't learn other ways. I'm just saying it is time for our generation of entrepreneurs to begin to view themselves as assets. And everybody wants to say, view yourself as an asset. You're like, oh, really? Mr. Professor of how to treat yourself as assets. Who's your mentor? They don't have one. You can't preach one thing and do another. If you're going to preach this way, look at my life, man, I am investing into myself through education, through information, through talented consultants who have been around a long time before I have, and at times through a $59 ticket to the American Admirals Club, where I can sit on my laptop and I can have access to one of the great blessings of our lifetime, the internet, and produce value for other people. Anyways, fix the way you think about yourself. You are the greatest asset in your world. And after you become productive and you grow, you can begin investing into other assets as well. $59, definitely worth it. It was a good time. All right. That's all I got. See you.
DailyMindMedicine.com